Welcome back to the Third Win channel. This will be the next episode of our AHS ranked series, and today we're going to be doing Apocalypse. I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on my favorite 10 characters from the season and a couple honorable mentions. And without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with our honorable mentions. We got Timothy. Just remember their names: Jeff Pfister and Mutt. They're just not. I'm mentioning them because they maybe, Timothy maybe seems like more of a main character in the beginning, and that's interesting. But they just kill him off. So yeah, okay, sure. And Jeff Pfister and Mutt, they had some fun scenes at the end, so I included them in the honorable mentions. But let's get into the meat of the video. So at number 10, I have Mr. Gallert. Um, there were some interesting he was one of the more fleshed out characters in the beginning of the season, the first 3 episodes, or yeah, thereabouts, that we still care about the people in the bunker. And he was a hairdresser, and his kind of relationship with his mom was a little interesting, but all in all, a bit of a throwaway character. This still lands at number 10. We don't have that many to choose from, which brings me to that this is characters that are exclusive to Apocalypse in this season, so that should be mentioned, other than maybe Michael Langdon, but technically still exclusive. Continuing at number 9, we have Coco. They brought her character back with her being like a witch and all, and being able to tell you how many calories are in a muffin, or being able to detect a danger. Like, that was cool, but it doesn't really save her from the fact that she was kind of obnoxious and a little bit annoying. So, yeah, that lands her in ninth spot. Um, Number 8, we got Ariel. I like that Ariel is kind of like, he acts powerful, but really he's weak. And he makes some fatal choices along the way, not trusting the witches, and that lands him in number 8. But I think he was an interesting leader. I think there's a lot of dynamics there, and he made for a good leader, entertaining. At number 7, I have Miss Venable. Miss Venable didn't really come off as too scary. She also didn't come off as super entertaining. She was kind of just a buzzkill to me, and her grand plan of killing everyone in the bunker was, not great. So, moving on, not very charismatic either. Number 6, we have Behold. He really, redeemed his own character when he went with Madison to the murder house. He had a lot of funny lines, and I thoroughly enjoyed him in that episode. And for that reason alone, he's number 6. I don't really have much to say here. I think he's elegant, and it's interesting kind of sense of humor he has. Sassy. Number 5, we have Miriam Mead. Um, I don't know if she was necessary this season, but she made for a pretty interesting. I've never seen a robot quite portrayed like her. Um, Pretty scary, and a, a reliable sidekick, I have to say. But she's all right. At number 4, we have Dina Stevens, who is a character which didn't make much sense to me at first, but then I kind of quickly understood. She's the takeover voodoo queen. She comes off as a more um, likable character, but we find out through flashbacks that she does really dark things, and even allows Michael Langdon to go in and kill the witches, which is unforgivable. But she made for a bit of an interesting villain, and one with weak morals. But I love the ending where Marie Laveau comes and kind of puts her in her place. But she made for some interesting flashbacks, which brought us back to the witches. So I like that. Next, at number 3, we have John Henry. I thought it was the coolest that he kind of suspected that something was going on, and he just gave off a really cool vibe. I don't know, I just liked him this season, and and being the kind of skeptic, worked out. And he reminds me of there's a different series called The 100. He reminds me a little bit of John Murphy, which same name, but I like this vibe. Next, and you realize we only have two spots, but there's just two pictures of Michael Langdon just because we have kind of two versions of him, so I can talk about the young and the old. But at number 2 we have Mallory. For being like this big savior, and some people theorize she was um, you know, the more not a witch, but a more the counterpart for the Antichrist. But she ended up being a witch, and she wasn't as epic. Well, no, she fully embodied the kind of vibe of the witches, but she wasn't as epic as some of the other witches. And her being the one to kind of tie the whole season together was really nice, and I liked her character, and I like her powers, and I like the send off, the last kind of lines of this season where she kind of puts everything back into place and kind of keeps it all a secret. I think that's really heartwarming and nice, and that's why she gets the second spot, because she really redeems herself in that last episode. And um, yeah, all around nice witch. um, and then we have Michael Langdon in first place. I debated whether I should divide, young and old Michael Langdon, but then I decided I shouldn't, just because I would put both of them at number one. I think it's just we focused on this character all season long almost, and when in the beginning, we see the old Michael Langdon. We see him in the end, but we focus more, and we are introduced to him in the beginning, and he just captivates you. He takes that scene and he puts all eyes on him, and he is scary but intriguing at the same time, and all these interviews, and man, I don't know, he's a great character. What can I say? And then we get the backstory with the young Michael Langdon, and then we kind of root for him, and then don't root for him, and we learn about his past, and we get to return to Murder House, which is just incredible. And it's probably one of my favorite episodes of AHS ever. And I don't know, Michael Langdon to me, this season was meant to be kind of like a throwback or like a love letter to the fans of AHS, and I think Michael Langdon really did that well. I know a lot of people hate this season, but I think they did it justice, and Michael Langdon was the perfect kind of um, scapegoat. I don't know, perfect vessel for this season, and I really enjoyed his character. And yeah, he's my number one. But that's my tier list, or not tier list, my ranking of the characters of Apocalypse.